Goeienaand, dames en heren. Good evening, Mawene, Wamkilekele. It's nice to be with you. These awards are really great because this gives us the opportunity to really celebrate excellence. And we have all the dimensions here, from academics to sport to culture to leadership. And I really hope you'll enjoy this wonderful evening with us. Ons is hier om uitnemendheid te vier. En uitnemendheid kan 'n mens op verskillende maniere verstaan. Uitnemendheid in die groter institusionele konteks, maar ook in die persoonlike konteks. Terloops, verskoon 'n bietjie my stem, ek sukkel nog met die nagevolge van 'n griep. Wat ek wil noem in terme van uitnemendheid in ons institusionele konteks, u weet dat dit een van die kernwaardes van ons universiteit is. Dat ons altyd daarvoor strewe, en een manier om dit reg te kry, is deur met uitnemende mense soos julle te assosieer. En dames en here, hier gaan vanaand vele voorbeelde hiervan sien. Uitnemendheid het te doen met gehalte. Gehalte gaan altyd bly staan, dit gaan altyd mense lok. So dit kom pragtig in by wat Stellenbosch voor staan en ons kry al hoe meer erkenning daarvoor. Jy weet seker dat ons baie onlangs ingesak het onder die 300 beste universiteite in die wêreld en daar's meer as 22,000 universiteite. So om in die top 300 te wees volgens die Times Education se ondersoek is glad nie sleg nie. Maar dit het alles te doen met wat ek sê uitnemendheid. Maar die tweede punt wat ek wil maak gaan oor individuele uitnemendheid. Dit het ook iets te doen met wat binne in ons as menswees is. Mens wil streef na uitnemendheid. Jy wil jou bes doen, al is dit soms uitputtend. What I'm saying, to be excellent is often exhausting. But it's really part of being a human. And as they say, success breeds success. As you achieve something, it energizes you to take the next step. And you hear a lot of this tonight. Hierdie Rektorstoekennings van uitnemende prestasie behoort vir elkeen van u as ontvanger se aansporing te wees. Maar natuurlik gaan dit 'n aansporing wees vir almal met wie jy dit doen kry. So, doen dit. Moedig ander aan om te bereik wat u bereik het. Want vir ons gaan dit inderdaad oor uitnemendheid. En Stellenbosch is 'n plek van ontdekking en 'n plek van uitnemendheid. En ons is so bly dat u hierdie pad saam met ons geloop het tot nou toe en hopelik nog 'n hele entjie saam met ons gaan stap.
Every year, the SRC Award for Exceptional Alumni is awarded to a member of the alumni who has consistently gone above and beyond the call of duty. This year, it is nothing different. I'm proud to announce that the recipient of the award this year is Mark Jordan. But before I call Mark Jordan to the stage, we'd just like to share a brief summary about his background with you. Mark Jordan graduated from the university with an undergraduate degree, a BCom law, a MCom in economics, as well as a PhD in banking supervision. He was also, and with the introduction Tosca gave, I'm very proud to say is a fellow Wilgenhofer and is also an honorary professor of the Department of Economics. After starting his career as a management trainee with Deutsche Bank in Hamburg in 1991, Michael joined RMB Rand Merchant Bank, that is the investment banking division of the First Rand Group, in 1994. He has since held various positions as CEO throughout the First Rand Group and was appointed CEO of FNB in 2004. Gedurende sy termyn as hoofuitvoerende beampte het hy aansienlik gefokus op die ontwikkeling van 'n innoverende kultuur binne die bankgroep. Onder sy leiding het FNB 'n innoveerder program in 2004 gestig. En ten tye van sy uittrede in 2013 het 'n aantal van 7244 innovasies geïmplementeer geword onder sy leiding. In 2012 is hierdie merkwaardige bydrae wat hy tot die bank gelewer het, erken toe FNB as die wêreld se mees innoverende bank by die BAI Financial Global Banking Innovation Awards te Washington DC aangewys is. He has also received a host of other awards and accolades, including the CNBC's All Africa Business Leader of the Year for Southern Africa Award in 2009, as well as being named one of the top 5 South African newsmakers of the year in 2011. This was for FNB's social media presence. Tans staan hy ook aan die hoof van 'n private beleggingsmaatskappy, Montegray Capital. Hy dien ook as nie-uitvoerende direkteur van die JSE Limited en hy verleen ook 'n strategiese hand aan vele ander maatskappye insluitend Mixed and Wines of South Africa. Apart from being a venture capitalist, Michael is also a wine enthusiast. A bit of a potentially dangerous combination, I'd say. And I found this quote on Bloomberg.com last night, in which Michael had the following to say, and I quote, I am logical, rational, cash flow and return on equity maximized, and a wine farm is exactly the opposite. Wine is irrational, the cash flow is bad, and there's no return on equity. But despite this stark contrast, he also successfully applies his traits as chairman of Wines of South Africa. In conclusion, Michael is well known in the South African context for always being on the forefront of leadership, innovation and technology, and has truly solidified his place as one of South Africa's most successful and respected executives. Dit is duidelik hieruit dat Michael ongetwyfeld 'n merkwaardige alumni van die Universiteit van Stellenbosch is. Die SR-toekenning vir uitnemende alumnus is bloot ten teken van ons waardering wat u as ambassadeur van die universiteit vervul, en dit is vir my 'n absolute voorreg om u nou na vore te roep om die toekenning aan u te oorhandig.
Now we want to tell you about different kind of achievers. Those who've succeeded against great odds. And I think you will appreciate these stories. I'll give you a little bit of background on each, but just something about this award. It was started about 10 years ago by a former rector, Chris Brink, in 2004. So hier is eintlik die 10de keer wat ons hierdie toekenning maak. En Chris Brink het dit begin omdat hy gesê het daar's verhale van mense wat ons moet hoor aan hierdie universiteit. En dis waaroor dit gaan. En ek dink julle gaan vanaand weer 'n paar inspirerende verhale hoor. Maar ek gaan eers gou vir julle 'n ander verhaal vertel. 'n Ander storie. Ons hou mos van stories. Omtrent so 'n eeu gelede, about a century ago, there was a farm worker and his wife in the Karoo who lived under quite difficult conditions, but like all parents, they had aspirations for their children. And one of them was to educate their children. But in fact, they could only send one of them to school. And even this child, eventually, before he could finish, dropped out of school and had to take on a job to support the family income. The name of the son of the two people I'm talking of is Karel. And so Karel started taking on a job, but he wanted to complete his education. It didn't work out that way for him. But as things go in life, fortunately, he met somebody, Mavis, and they got married and started a family. And the day their son was school-going age, Karel took him by the hand and he walked to the school and hy stap deur die hekkie en hy stap in die klas en hy sit sy seun in die skoolbank neer en hy gaan sit langs sy seun in die skoolbank. En hy begin sy opvoeding daar klaarmaak saam met sy eie kind. Jy sien, die punt is, Karel was absoluut vasbeslote om vir sy kind te gee wat hy nie kon nie, maar boonop was hy vasbeslote om sy eie opvoeding klaar te maak. Het enige een van 'n idee wie is die kleinkind van wie ek nou praat? Sy naam was Russell Botman, ons oorlede rektor. So Russell Botman en sy pa was saam op die skoolbanke en hy het baie keer hierdie storie met trots vertel, maar ook met so 'n kinkel in die storie. Ek weet nie hoe dit met julle was op skool nie, maar ek was so 'n kleinerige laaitjie gewees. En dikwels moes ek gesê het, hoor hierso, my pa is 'n groot ou. Die enigste verskil is Russell het gesê, my pa is 'n groot ou en hier sit hy. In ieder geval, soos julle weet, Russell het in die lewe absoluut uitgestyg. Hy het by Stellenbosch vir ons 'n rigting en 'n visie gegee wat ons nie gehad het nie. En ten spyte van groot uitdagings wat 'n lang pad gekom het. En ek dink dis waaroor dit vanaand gaan. Terloops, Karel die pa het ook sy matriek gekry en verder aangegaan en sy werk gedoen. En jare later het Russell aan sy pa en sy ma wat ook die pot aan die kook gehou het, soos hulle spreekwoordelik sê, en die familie versorg het, eer gebring en vir hulle gesê, dit het 'n groot verskil gemaak. En een van Russell se sê dinge wat 'n mens altyd sal bly is die volgende. Hy sê, the most precious thing in the world is knowledge. And education is the key to unlocking it. Dis woorde wat Russell vir ons gegee het, wat ek dink ons lank sal bewaar in ons midde, en ek glo vir ons studente so absoluut relevant is. Opvoeding is die sleutel om die geleenthede vir hulle te ontsluit. So ek wil nou graag ons waarnemende rektor en fisiekanselier Prof Leopold van Huisteen nooi om hier by ons te kom staan, en dan gaan ek vir iets vertel van die 3 ontvangers vanaand van die uitstygtoekenning, en luister soos wat ek iets van hulle storie vertel. Van die wil en die platslaan en die opstaan en die wil, en uiteindelik sal jy hoor wat het ons mense wat ons vanaand aan die gaan voorstel bereik en waarom ons dink hulle sulke waardige ontvangers vir hierdie toekenning. So the first recipient I want to introduce to you is Agnes Molabatsi. Agnes is the first year theology student from Goedsong in Carletonville, Gauteng. And when she was writing her final matric exams, her mother was admitted to hospital, and obviously while you're doing matric, that causes a lot of stress. Nevertheless, she carried on, and she did well in her subjects except for maths. But maths is nowadays quite important, and her teacher encouraged her to keep going at it. Well, there was a further challenge. As she was preparing for the maths exam and had to write it, her father fell ill and passed away. But despite that, she sat down in the exam, and she eventually passed maths, and then she got admission to Stellenbosch University. And Agnes says the first few months at Stellenbosch was quite difficult for her. So again, the challenge. But the point is, she did not give up. She mentioned that she struggled financially, even with registration fees, accommodation, and so on. But people in the community, in the church community, helped her with accommodation. And we were fortunate that through the bursary division at the university, we could supply with some financial support. And she worked very hard and passed one of her subjects in theology first year with 81% already. So that's getting up and going and doing it. So Agnes, I think you're an example to us. You really deserve this award, and I invite you to come and receive it from the acting rector. Thank you, well done. The next person I want to introduce to you is Blaine van Wyk. Blaine van Wyk is 'n boerling van die Parel, en hy is op die oomblik 'n nagraadse student in die politieke wetenskappe. Wat ek vir u gaan vertel omtrent Blaine is iets wat hy gemaklik is om met u te deel. So Blaine is gebore met 'n gesplete lip, en van hy baie klein was, het hy en operasies en dokters het die dinge deurgemaak. Maar ten spyte daarvan het Blaine herstel en die uitdagings aangevat, in 2010 vir ingenieurswese ingeskryf, en ingenieurswese was nie vir hom nie. Hy het met groot moed en enthousiasme begin en gevind, dis nie dit nie. So daar was maar weer 'n uitdaging, en 'n besluit om van koers te verander, en gedoen wat 'n mens behoort te doen in assosiasie, is herbedink, herorganiseer jouself, 'n draai gemaak by die Sentrum vir Studente Voorligting, wat spesifiek probeer om studente te help met loopbaankeuses en studieuitdagings so aan. En hulle het toe vir hom geadviseer om oor te skakel na BA internasionale studies. En die res is amper geskiedenis, want hy het uiteindelik daai graad geslaag met 10 onderskeidings. So hy het sy nis gevind ten spyte van die uitdagings en 10 onderskeidings gehad. En soos ek vir julle genoem het, hy doen nou op die oomblik sy honeursgraad. Maar Blyn is iemand wat nie net akademies uitblink nie, op vele ander plekke maak hy sy bydrae. Hy is 'n mentor in sy koshuis Wilgenhof en ook deel van Righteous Angels. Dit is ook 'n groep wat uitreik na oornemende studente, leerders met uitdagings. En in sy koshuis en omgewing het hy begin om 'n nuwe organisasie te skep wat hulle noem Operation Smile. En die doel van Operation Smile van die studente is om geld in te samel, sodat ander studente met gesplete lip en gesplete hemel te gehelp kan word. En met hulle fonds het hulle nou al sedert 2012 5 pasiënte gehelp om die mediese prosedure te ondergaan. En as 'n mens nou 'n bietjie van ander mense gaan vra oor Blyn, dan is een van die mooiste getuienisse wat ek gehoor het van Daniel Milan, hy is die inwonende hoof, hy wil geloof, en hy sê, "There are many students who have impressed me with their performance and contributions over the past few years. There are far fewer who've been a personal inspiration to me. If I had to pick one name amongst many, it would be Blyn van Wyk." I think it's a wonderful testimony of what you've achieved and how you still keep on inspiring and just impressing other people. So please come forward and receive this award from the university. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least is Caroline Poole. Caroline is from Para and she's a PhD candidate in molecular biology and human genetics here at Stellenbosch. And she is pursuing her lifelong dream to become Dr. Poole. And I think it will happen quite soon. She started her studies at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, studying biotechnology. Sorry, I have to take a sip of water. Studying biotechnology, but again, the challenge in her second year of studies, her grandmother passed away, and a number of experiences in her life just moved her to start writing a book, because one day I think it will be extremely inspirational to other people, and that's why she decided to do that. Anyway, she was funded through her BTech studies, and did well. In fact, partially had to support a living by working part-time here for Stellenbosch University while she was doing her BTech. Anyway, she was after that accepted here as an MSc student at Stellenbosch, and again things went well, great opportunity, and in that time her mother passed away suddenly. And yeah, it's just the kind of thing, you start a new life full of dreams and then you have a very serious challenge in life. Nevertheless, she pushed through. She enrolled for the MSc and she passed the degree with honors. And earlier this year, I must mention, Caroline also received a national award, the South African Women in Science Award from the Minister of Science and Technology. And this is just one of the several accolades she received so far. Amongst other things, she's a motivational speaker, and that's what I like, that you share what you've experienced with others and lift them up and encourage them. And she's in the process of completing a book, so I said just now at the table, you owe me a copy when that is done after your PhD thesis, so I'm looking forward to it. But ladies and gentlemen, I think a really deserving person to receive this acknowledgement of achieving against all the odds and coming out tops. Please come forward and receive your award from the Rector.